A very good evening to all of you. So, you have all heard about the trials and you have heard about the results, and you have heard everything there is to know about the pleiotropic effects of semaglutide 2.4 milligrams. And it has just been recently launched. So, I'm going to take you through some of the points which will tell you how to actually use it in your clinic, what are the strengths available, what kind of patients you can use it for, and basically all the practical aspects of it. So, the first question that comes to your mind when you're sitting in your clinic and you have a patient who is obese, obviously, in front of you, who can be prescribed Wegovy, and how do you start with dosing of this particular drug? So we know that Wegovy is used as an adjunct to lifestyle modification, and it is suitable for adults as early as a BMI of 27. Now, these are the international standards which tell you that chronic weight management, and of course, this is in people who are more than 18 years old, with an initial BMI of more than 27, with at least one weight related comorbidity, or a BMI of more than 30 with or without comorbidities. Now, these are the international guidelines, the BMIs that we use internationally. But in India, even earlier intervention recommendations are there, where those values are replaced by 25 and 27. So instead of 27 and 30, we replace it with 25 and 27. And this is in accordance with the BMI cutoffs in Indian patients in Southeast Asia. So you can use it even earlier in patients who have these kind of BMIs, 25 and 25 with comorbidity, and 27. Now, if there is time for questions afterwards, it's up to debate that would you really want to use semaglutide in somebody with a body mass index of say 26? So, will the patient accept it? Do you want to use it? So, that can come in the question answer session later on, and I will tell you my thoughts about that. So, this is the dosing regimen of Wegovy, that is semaglutide 2.4. The starting dose is 0.25, and you work your way upwards with the next dose, ideally every 4 weeks. And these 4 weeks are given because you know that with every dose escalation, there could be escalation of the side effects, the gastric side effects, and to get the patient used to it, you would want to do that. However, in practice, what we have done and what we have seen people do is that you can actually escalate it a little faster, because there are people who are able to tolerate it. So you could be able to go from 0.25 to 0.5 and on upwards. Maybe in 2 weeks, sometimes in 3 weeks. It is highly individualized. But the recommendation is that you do it every 4 weeks. And this is expected to mitigate the side effects, the gastric side effects that are expected. Next question. What are the special considerations when you want to start this drug? What should you be aware of? What should you be cautious about? And what are the questions that you need to ask the patient before you are able to start the drug? So, these are some of the special considerations when you are prescribing Wegovy. In the elderly, for example, there is no dose adjustment. If you're worried that this patient is elderly, what do I do with the dose? Well, all the trial data has shown that you don't really need to take age separately as a consideration for either not escalating the dose or giving a lesser dose. Second, liver impairment. No dose adjustment is required for patients who have mild or moderate hepatic impairment. So that is another question out of the way. Pancreatitis. Now, everyone is worried about pancreatitis because there has been so much talk about pancreatitis being one of the side effects of this drug and all of that. But having said that, you have to use this drug with caution if there has been a history of acute pancreatitis. You have to inform the patients of the symptoms of acute pancreatitis. You have to tell them that if you have these kind of symptoms, you have to come back immediately. But if a patient already has had acute pancreatitis in the recent past, you would obviously not use this particular drug. And if you suspect pancreatitis after you started using the drug, you have to discontinue, evaluate, and see what has happened, confirm the diagnosis, and then maybe stop the drug. So that is one little red flag that you have to be aware of. I'm not saying you don't use it in a person who's had pancreatitis in the past, but you need to be careful and you have to inform the patient about it. What about renal impairment now? No dose adjustment is required in mild or moderate renal impairment. It is not recommended if the GFR is less than 30. So that's very clear. If it's mild to moderate, you can use it. No dose adjustment required. If the GFR is less than 30, don't use it. Retinopathy. All of us have been reading so much about a few cases of escalated progression of retinopathy. So there is a recommendation that you monitor patients with retinopathy for potential worsening of the condition due to improved glycemic control. So it is expected when the glycemic control improves, maybe the retinopathy gets worse. And some people have attributed it to this, and there are trials, of course. So you have to be careful about it. Pregnancy, it's a big no-no. You do not use it during pregnancy. And you are, if somebody is desirous of conception, you are supposed to give a washout period of 2 months before the person even attempts conception. If the patient has not told you and if the patient conceives, you have to stop immediately and you have to keep a watch on the patient. So that is about special considerations. And now we talk about the next question. How do you prevent these side effects? We do get a lot of patients. A lot of them want to, in the middle of it, they say, we can't take this anymore. There are a lot of side effects, the gastric side effects. What do we do? But of course, you have explained to the patient that there are good effects and this is going to die down and this is going to go away. But until then, what? You need to kind of have a bridge until the things go down, the side effects go down. So, GI side effects are typically mild to moderate, but in a given patient, they can really be quite severe. But in most patients, especially those who are mild to moderate, you can somehow attenuate these symptoms. There are a few hacks that can be used. For example, the eating habits can be changed a little, where the patient is asked to eat a little slowly, small meals, frequent meals, just eat little at a time, eat only if you're hungry, and no straw. What does that mean? No liquid meals, not too many liquid meals, and then smaller portions, no distractions, enjoy your food, and no lying down immediately after a meal, because you know that gastric emptying is delayed, so there's some kind of bloating, and stop when satiated, and no meals near bedtime. So these are some of the eating habits that can be suggested to the patient to try and attenuate those symptoms. What about food composition? Should that be changed? And I've been seeing on Instagram and on Facebook, there is a whole new community of apps that has come, which tells you about GLP-1 agonist related diets. So there are some special diets, and there are some people advocating special diets for people who are using GLP-1. And that is why I just remembered when I talked about the food composition. So typically what is recommended is that you should go on a low fat diet, boiling, oven or a griddle, that you use that kind of food, clear drinks, small sips, not too much at a time. So you have to eat less, eat slow, and more frequent, water rich foods, avoid sweets, dressing, spicy or canned foods, and this will somewhat bring down the intensity of those gastric side effects. For lifestyle, well, fresh air, light exercise, food, diary to identify what works better. So, journaling is very, very important to know what works and what doesn't work. Now, the next question. What are the considerations for the use of Wegovy across a woman's lifespan? We talk a lot about CVD in women, diabetes in women, obesity in women. Why is it special? Why is it different? Well, it is different simply because a woman goes through so many different phases in her life. And each of those phases can have biological and hormonal differences which impact whatever you do, whatever therapy you give, and you have to be mindful of that. And therefore, let's talk about the considerations for the use of Wegovy across a woman's lifespan. Yeah. So the decision has to be highly individualized, it has to be customized, and management of obesity in different age groups can be different. So, in the reproductive age group, if the woman is not considering pregnancy, then yes, you can use it, but with a highly effective means of contraception. So that's the caveat, and you have to be really careful. What about a woman who is in the reproductive age group but is considering pregnancy? As I said earlier, discontinue it 2 months prior. In case pregnancy is confirmed during therapy and the woman has not stopped it beforehand, you discontinue it immediately. Post pregnancy and breastfeeding, well, it has to be started after breastfeeding is discontinued. Pre and post menopausal age, evaluate the muscle mass, bone density prior to starting it so that you can give the appropriate lifestyle modification therapy. What if a person misses or forgets to take a dose, or if there is intolerance with a particular dose? If you miss the dose, you'll have to take it within 5 days of having missed the dose. So that much of latitude is there. But if more than 5 days have passed, then that dose is missed entirely. It should not be taken. So guidance if a dose is not tolerated, if it is during the escalation phase, then keep the person taking the same dose for another 4 weeks. If it is during the maintenance phase, temporarily you can step it down to the previous dose and then attempt to re-escalate it later. Does semaglutide 2.4 milligrams have benefits in MASH? I'm not going to go into the details of this because it has already been told to you by Dr. A.K. Singh just now. The data has been shown, so I'm not going to go into that. What guidance do you have for providence for the use of Wegovy prior to and post metabolic bariatric surgery? So, is there a role for that? Yes. All bariatric surgeons will tell you that a little bit of weight loss prior to the surgery is always useful because the surgery process itself, the operation itself becomes easier, safer if a little bit of fat is lost, if a little bit of weight is lost beforehand. So pre-operatively, yes. Post-operatively, to improve the post-op weight loss in case of suboptimal weight loss, yes, there is a role for that. And the metabolic status, to improve the metabolic functions after bariatric surgery, also it can be used. Post recovery, restart Wegovy therapy based on evaluation of the tolerability and individual requirement. Do benefits with Wegovy differ in women compared to men? Yes, there is significant improvement in liver fibrosis and histological resolution. I will not go into the details of this, but yes, you can, as you can see over here, there are differences that you can see. And I thank you all for a very patient hearing, and I hope I've made it clear on how you can use the drug.